Morning, love. I am barely awake, warmed up and moving here, but I keep having this channel come through and I knew I had to come jump on and deliver this message. I know for myself it's a major one, so hopefully you will hear what you need to hear as well. But what keeps coming through the channel, and if you know me at all, you've been here for any amount of time, you know life is a musical. And that you can't convince me otherwise. So what keeps coming through is a part of Defying Gravity where it says, I'm through accepting limits just because someone says they're so. I forget the next line, don't shoot me. But until I try, I'll never know. And I keep seeing the Fool card. So be aware that from now on, when I'm channeling the Fool card, I might just start saying Defying Gravity. But I always love the Fool card because it's about taking that leap of faith. And we always think that it's this big, grand gesture. And in a way it is, because faith requires something so deep and trusting within ourselves. And it can be very challenging to do that. But what we don't see is that step, that leap, that guide, that action from one place to another is divinely guided, is divinely supported. And we live in this world where limiting beliefs are impressed upon us from our own mind, from our conditioning, from society. There's just so many things we can get into with that, especially just in terms of like privilege and things like that. But there was this, I believe it was a Bashar video where they were talking about why we incarnate to this planet, and ultimately it's because we've come to this point where we know that we are powerful beings and we are able to transcend all limitations. The only reason that we incarnate to this place, please don't send me back here, is because we know we can transcend all limitations. And this realm, this reality, this planet is so full of them. Being here, being in this incarnation, being on this planet means that we have the ability to transcend everything that comes up against us, to make us believe that we are less than, that we don't have the power. And something that I'm faced with again, and that I've talked about many, many times, is when you get to the point where your manifestation is about to come in, all hell breaks loose. Your mental, emotional is going to go off the tracks, and you are going to start doubting. You are going to be faced with so much fear. Not because you're afraid of the thing that you're receiving, even though usually there is a lot of responsibility that comes with that. It's because you are coming face to face with your own power. You are at a point where you're like, damn, I did this. I have the ability to create my reality. I am responsible for this. It may not be that cognizant, right? But it is in the back of your mind. It's that subconscious realizing just truly how infinite it is. So let's see what this is about. Why is the collective starting to awaken to the fact that they are transcending limitations? Ace of Voices. And I kind of love this. This is a continuation a little bit from my last reading, because you're learning how to vocalize who you are, what you stand for, what you're called to do, what you want, what you need. And that's amazing. That's a really hard point in the journey, a really big thing to heal from, because we're coming out of generations where they were silenced. Our grandparents are literally called the silent generation, right? And then you have the boomers, X, millennials, yay, and Z, and now these alphas who are just so aware and working with children for decades. I've never seen a generation like alpha generation, man. Even my own son is just like, I was not ready for you. And that's the thing, is we are being called to do our work for those who are coming after us. And simultaneously, the work we do helps them. And being able to stand in our own truth, to defy those limitations, is really what makes those waves. And I have the tattoo on my leg, well-behaved women seldom make history. And I have everybody always ask me what that's about, especially children, because it's hard to explain that to children. It's like, if you want to create change, you have to be the one willing to step up and make that change. What else do we need to know about this Defying Gravity? 10 of Inspirations. So that's a 10 of Wands, and we have a 1 and a 10 here. So there's this end of a cycle here, an end in the beginning, Alpha Omega, where the burdens of the past, the things that you have been carrying, this weight, which is coming through as both mental and emotional and just the experiences of life, you're starting to understand that the things that you carry within you are not a burden, but it's wisdom, right? The things that you carry with you, your experiences, you have that choice on how to look at them. You can see yourself as the victim and live in that victim mentality. You have that choice where you put yourself down, you feel bad about yourself, life is happening to you, the universe is out to get you, karma's out to get you. Pastor at church did this whole thing on karma, and it irks me because it's generally people have a very strong misunderstanding of how karma works. Karma is not about good or bad or getting what you're meant to get in a negative sense or even in a positive sense. It is about the lessons that you learn along the way and how it helps you grow as a soul and how it helps uncover your truth and authenticity. That's what karma is about. And it's becoming this I can't find the word for it. Something that you're carrying with you, but not as a burden, not as something that's breaking your back, but like a tool. It's a tool that you are carrying with you, this wisdom that you have from your past, because you're starting to shift and change the way that you are perceiving it. Tell me more about this leap of faith that the collective is being called to make at this time. 9 of Materials. Love that. Do you see how free she is? If you want to feel that sense of freedom, especially in your material world, that leap of faith is what's going to get you from that safe space. And another coach commented yesterday something in terms of comfort zones. And my comment was, comfort zones are where dreams go to die. If you want to grow, expand, experience unlimited potential, unlimited abundance, you have to be willing to take that leap, because until you try, you will never know. You have to do the scary thing. And now I'm hearing Frozen 2, which actually has been coming through for about 2 months. And I bit my tongue from having to tell my masculine that one. But it's honestly what we both needed to hear at the time. But it's just do the next right thing. That next step, the step that is in front of you. Don't look down the road at what's coming. Don't make yourself so anxious about the good or the bad that may or may not come your way. Look at what is directly in front of you. And this is what I have to tell my son all the time, especially when it comes to homework or just things in our routine. Don't worry about what we have to do 3 hours from now. What are you doing right now? Focus on what you're doing right now. Pull all of that energy back. And that's one of those places where I think that things like ADD and ADHD kind of get misunderstood, especially with those who have spiritual gifts but don't know how to utilize them. And just our culture in general, we're not taught to be present. We're not taught how to pull that energy back into ourselves and to be present, be in this moment, and to focus and to utilize our own gifts and energies to be productive. Again, that's a whole other thing, but you need to look at those aspects in your life so that you can have a better understanding of yourself and how you operate and the things that spark joy, excitement, curiosity, because once you start to lean into those things, your energy won't be so erratic anymore. Guidance or advice for the collective. 8 of materials and justice. Whatever it is that you want, you have to be willing to work for. And I just shared a thread about this. You can't wonder how someone else got their blessings if you are unwilling to do your own work on whatever level that is. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable in order to receive your reward, whether that be tests, trials, and tribulations, whether that's paying your dues. You have to be willing to do whatever work is necessary if you truly believe that that thing is worth having, because you will be tested. And there's a scripture, you won't be tested beyond what you can bear. You're given just enough to help you expand and grow and develop strength and the tools and the skills that you need. And once you get there, guess what? That's not the end. That's not the end of it. And even the pastor at church, like, that was their thing last week. Like, you will be constantly tested so you can continue to grow and expand, so that you can continue to serve, because there will be things that challenge you that this version of you is not ready for, but it's coming down the line. You don't need to worry about it. The universe has got you. Is preparing you here and now. So if you can look at what you're going through as being prepared, and this is something that another twin flame coach and reader has been shifting their verbiage, instead of saying separation to saying preparation. Understand that you are in a preparation phase in your life constantly. Whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you're working towards, whatever limitations that you feel are being imposed, limiting beliefs, circumstances, shift your perspective to see that it is preparation for you. Ask yourself constantly, what am I learning? What do I have to learn? That's karma. What do I have to learn here and now to be ready and to receive? And receiving is a feminine energy. So if you're having a struggle somewhere there with being able to vocalize your wants and your needs and to receive, then perhaps take a look at where your feminine energy is out of balance. Where are you not asking for the help that you need? Where are you having a hard time receiving mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever it may be? Last piece of guidance for the collective. Interesting, double threes. So 33 or 333 for anybody who that resonates for. 3 of voices and 3 of emotions. So be aware of your emotions. You may have to take some time to understand your own emotional IQ, your own emotional literacy, and develop resilience within yourself and a better understanding of your emotions and how they are triggering you into your stress cycle. If you would like that tool, please ask me for it. It's a beautiful tool to help you along your journey to know what your triggers are and your subsequent thoughts, patterns, beliefs, sabotaging behaviors, and that whole thing. Because if you're letting your emotions, run the show, you're going to end up in these cycles where you feel like you're not able to tap into or access that door of opportunity. But it's literally all BS, because again, the only limitation is your own mind. And if you can overcome that, if you can continue to shift and grow and awaken, you will see that opportunity is always there for you. And I shared another thread about this morning, witching hour. those opportunities are always there, but you have to be willing to do what is necessary to go after them. It is going to be uncomfortable, and I'm calling myself out on this because I have an opportunity this weekend to do something really cool, be a part of a really great project, but my fear of going alone and that uncomfortability, which I've done 1,000,001 times, is keeping me back from it. Now, is there also some assessment of whether or not this falls within my boundaries and values? Yes. And those are things that you do have to consider and ask yourself, am I holding myself back, or is this a genuine concern? And trust me, that process alone can send you into a downspin, into a spiral, and really makes you analyze who you are, what you believe, and why. But I strongly encourage you to take that time to do so. And if you need help with that, whether it be through coaching or reading or healing, I am here to help you along the way. Please reach out to me. I do want to get one more card. Hanged Muse. It's all about shifting that perspective. So I hope you heard what you needed to hear today. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, inbox is always open. I'm available for reading, feelings, coaching, and the like. And I will see you soon.